I have to give Florida State a lot of credit for coming in here and playing the way they did. Their size just bothers us. They're so long and athletic, and anytime we were not able to put a lot of pressure on them, they threw the ball right to the rim and either laid it in or dunked it. And we were trying to figure out a way to counter that. And at the same time, their defense, forced us totally out of our offensive rhythm. We weren't even able to run offense. Started doing a lot of stuff that was designed to take guys off the bounce and try to score. Nigel Pack did a great job of bringing us back. Bensley Joseph did a great job pressuring and then getting some fast break layups. But overall, towards the end of the game, we just couldn't keep them off the foul line. They ended up shooting. Neither team shot well from the foul line. We were 14 for 24. They were 14 for 23. For us, a team that really needed to make those free throws, that was unfortunate because we've been a great free throw shooting team all season long. Questions?
Jim, did you feel, and you can comment whether you've seen this in a couple games, but that there was a little bit of an effort disparity coming out of the gate in the first half?
I think what you're seeing is different defensive styles. They're pressing full court, so you see great effort and denying, and they switch all the time, and they're contesting shots and stuff. So that's their style. We're not that big, can't do stuff like that. We're not that deep, so we have to be a little bit more conservative. We got to avoid foul trouble and stuff, and so that's what you're seeing. It's not effort. It's really style of play.
Coach, you mentioned FSU's relentless style of defense, just how they play. Just how did that give your team problems today?
Okay, I can't really hear you that well, so can you say it again?
No, I'm just saying, you mentioned FSU's defense and their pressure. Just how did that give your offense problems today?
Well, we start our offense normally with a pass to Norshad Omir, and then he hands it off or passes it to the next guy, and we couldn't do it. We came out in the second half, we backdoored them because we knew they'd be doing that, and they blocked the shot. That's the difference. Like, when you execute a play and the defense is still able to stop it, you got to give credit to the defense. It's not the offensive player, or we didn't do anything wrong, except we didn't get the 2 points. But that's when you have a lot of size and shot blocking ability.
Jim, you talk about depth. I looked at the bench points, was 40 to 14. I think they played 10 players like in the first 10 minutes or something. How can you counterbalance a team that does this?
No, that's what they do. I mean, they do that every game. It's not against us. It's against every team that they play. And we aren't that deep, so we don't do that. I've had teams that were really deep. Well, tonight, I think we went 9 deep, or 8. I think maybe 8. But really what the game comes down to is you execute your game plan. They executed their game plan very well, and we had a very hard time at both ends of the court executing our game plan. Why? Because defensively they disrupted us, and offensively they're just so tall. I'll give you an example. The very first offensive basket for them, they ran a ball screen, and we helped with our 5-man, Norshad Omir. His man rolled to the basket, and his helper was Nigel Pack. Well, Nigel's 6 feet, and the roll man is 7 feet, or 6'11". So he just threw it up. He caught it and laid it in. There's nothing, we didn't do anything wrong. So we started, late in the first half, we started not helping on the ball screen. So what they did is Primo Spears started to come off those ball screens and hitting jump shots. Okay, what's the next thing? Well, in the second half, we started trapping them. That actually worked the best and got us back in the game. We were shooting for the lead. We were down 1 and had a wide open 3 in transition and could have taken the lead then. I think that would have really helped us. But instead, we missed. They got the rebound, went down and scored again, and it kept inching from 3 to 5, 5 to 7, and we could never get in front.
Yeah, you cut it to 2, 3 times. In one little section, you cut it to 2 points, and then they just, each time they came back with a basket right after.
Coach, I mean, obviously people have their eyes on Matthew Cleveland in his return game. You know, people unfortunately know what happened last time he came here. And, you know, it wasn't the best of games for him. He's been on a great run recently. How do you look to kind of get Matthew back on track after a game he's probably beating himself up?
Yeah, I'm not going to worry too much about Matthew Cleveland. He's having a great season. I think coming into the game, he was leading scorer in the ACC, in ACC games. So I'm sure he'll be fine.
Coach, I want to ask you about the month of January, kind of up and down for you guys. You know, you win one, you lose one. Just what do you want to see from the team, kind of moving forward, and how to get that consistency back?
You mean would I like us to be a little more consistent?
What do you want to see from them? Or
Yeah, no,
how do you get it back?
Well, here's the way I look at it. The teams we're playing are really good teams too. We're a good team, they're a good team, and we have to figure out how to execute our game plan better than the opponent executes its game plan. And when we went to Virginia Tech on Saturday, both teams played very well. Both teams executed their game plan beautifully. But they had Sean Padula score 33 points. We couldn't stop him. Bensley Joseph was a hell of a defender, started on him, and then Keyshawn George guarded them, then Matthew Cleveland guarded him, and still he just scored. Why? He's very, very good. But we were able to counter that by scoring at our end very well, and then got just a couple of critical stops right at the end of the game. They were shooting for the tie with, 12 seconds to go in the game? And they missed the shot. Nigel got the rebound with 4 seconds to go, so it was probably like 6 or 7 when he shot it. And we win by 3 or 4. So that game, this one is an entirely different game because of their height and their pressure. All right? The height helps them at both ends of the court. The pressure really affected our players. You saw early in the game, our press attack, we told our guys, don't wait for them to get back and play half-court defense. Just drive it to the basket and shoot a layup. What had happened? Nigel Pack drove it to the basket, shot a nice layup. Bensley Joseph drove to the basket, shot a nice layup. Leonard switched the defense. He went from man to zone, and that slowed us down a little bit. We weren't able to attack that to score. We had to attack it, get across midcourt, and then run half-court offense, which, again, they disrupted very well.
Jim, you mentioned the free throw shooting, like 20 points or so below your season average. Do you think there's a reason for that, or is it kind of like bad bounce the ball?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it'd be like asking me, why did we shoot such good free throws for so long? Like, well, we've got good free throw shooters. Why did they miss? Well, every game is different, and they're human, and, sometimes they miss.
Coach,
What were you thinking of? Oh, go ahead.
Is there a certain player you look to when your team's down, continually being down? Do you look for a certain player or kind of a whole team effort to get your team back on track and bring
Well,
back?
each game, again, is different depending on who's got the hot hand. Like, we felt like Nigel had the best chance. He ended up, Norshad had a double-double, but Matt only had 2 points. Bensley had 10. Wooga had 15. Nigel had 19. And we got 9 points from Keyshawn George, Michael Nwako 3, and AJ Casey 2. So when you look at a 40-14 discrepancy from the bench, that's hard for us to overcome because our bench is not going to score that kind of points. So do we look for one guy? Well, it depends on the circumstances. Every game is different. We put the ball in Nigel's hand. He's our point guard. He's really smart, and he can really shoot. He normally makes good decisions. Tonight, he ended up, 8 for 17, 3 for 11 from 3. It's not one of his best shooting nights, but still, I got tremendous confidence in him.
What were you thinking when he hit those back-to-back threes, Nigel, and the place erupted and went crazy? What was going through your mind at that moment?
What do we have to do defensively? If we're now scoring, what do we have to do defensively to stop them? Because it's not enough to score. We're still behind. We got to figure out a way to stop them. And again, they switched their offense. They quit ball screening, so we couldn't trap them. And again, it's like a chess match, and Leonard got me in checkmate.